This video is going to be about updating your beauty regime for autumn and winter, and I have 4 categories to talk you through today: makeup, hair, skincare and nails, and I'm going to start with skincare. In terms of my skincare routine, the first thing I do is I switch up my usual cleanser, which is normally a milk, to something a bit more hydrating like a balm. But Oskia have just released this Renaissance cleansing gel, and although it's a gel, it is really hydrating. It's such a pleasure to massage into the skin. It almost feels slightly like an oil, and then you wash it off and it takes off all your makeup as well. There's also chamomile in here, so it's really calming and soothing for that kind of parched winter dry skin. I do actually have a code if you fancy picking one of these up, which is on my website. It's just Liana Beauty, and I will link all that information below because I think you can buy one and get one for your friend as well, or keep one for yourself. Even though moisturizing my body is like the world's most boring task, if I don't use this in winter time, my legs and my arms get seriously dry, and this is the This Works Skin Deep Dry Leg Oil. This contains an absolutely huge range of essential oils, and it's super hydrating. It's quite light and it has like a watery consistency, so it's really easy to pop on just before bed, put on my pajamas, and in the morning my skin is really nice and smooth. And I only have to use this about once a week, and it kind of keeps my skin hydrated for that whole period, and then I'll do the whole process again, which normally is on a Sunday night. The next thing I add into my routine, because I don't use a lot of them in the summer, and this is the Caudalie SOS Thirst Quenching Serum. I really like this because it's just really light and hydrating, and it's not one of those extra steps you have to spend ages doing. It's quite a quick, easy step just to add that extra boost of moisture. The next step I like to add into my routine as well, and that is a hydrating face mist, and this one from Omorovicza is my all-time favourite because not only does it smell amazing and have a really cool name, it also just feels such a pleasure to use. You instantly feel like your skin is hydrated and not tight at all. I normally pop this by my desk, spray myself throughout the day to add that extra boost of hydration, or I just use it as a toner. The next thing I like to have around is a multifunctional balm, and this one is the Schiffer Healing Balm, and it is super luxurious. It has quite a thick consistency, but it just kind of melts into an oil when it comes into contact with the skin, and you can pop this absolutely anywhere, like elbows, knees, face, cuticles, lips, like you name it, it will sort the problem out, especially when it comes to dry skin. The next category I have next to me is makeup, and there are many ways I like to switch up my makeup to make it a bit more autumn wintry, and the first one is what I'm wearing right now, and that is a berry lip. I have quite a few berry lips here that I absolutely love, and I'm going to start with the one I'm wearing right now, and that is this Clinique Chubby Stick Intense in Grandest Grape. This is one of my all-time favourites because it is so moisturising. It literally feels like I'm wearing chapstick right now. You hardly feel it on the lips because it is so light and hydrating. The next one I have here is this Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick, and it is quite matte on the lips. It is one you want to apply one layer and then don't touch your lips the rest of the day because it will kind of flake off a bit. A less expensive alternative to the Clinique Chubby Stick is this one from Bourjois, and this is a new shade of their Colour Boost lip crayons, and this one is called Plum Russian. The next couple of things I have here are base products that kind of hydrate the skin at the same time, and this is the Smashbox Under Eye Lid Primer, and that sounds a bit strange, but actually if you think about it, my under eyes is where I get the most dry throughout the day, especially if I'm piling on the concealer to cover up my horrendous bags. So I pop this on just before I put on any concealer, and it just helps add a really nice kind of smoothing layer for the concealer to go on, and it keeps everything nice and hydrated. And the second one I have here is foundation, and there are so many foundations that have just been released and so many good ones that kind of keep the skin hydrated, but my favourite recently has been this Bourjois Happy Light one because it's really hydrating. Apparently it claims up to 8 hours, and also it's really kind of light reflective and awakening, which I definitely need in the autumn winter time. There have been so many smoky eye palette releases this autumn and winter, but these two have been the standouts for me, and this is the Tom Ford palette in She-Wolf. So you have 3 shades here. You have a kind of all over the lid shade, a smoke it up crease shade which I pop on the outer corner, and then you have a kind of pigmented glitter which I just pop on the center of the lid to give it that extra bit of dimension and just add something fun to the look. And then the next palette I have is a really funny texture actually. This is from Illamasqua, and these kind of almost feel like marshmallows, these eyeshadows. They're really quite strange. I've never felt anything like them before, and they kind of work best with your fingers as opposed to a brush. but they're like a really creamy, moussey consistency, and once they come into contact with your lids they turn into more of a powder, and you'd think they'd crease quite a bit, but I'm happy to report that they don't. So they have a really nice selection of shades in this palette, and I really like this purple taupe here. I kind of sweep that all over the lids with my finger and then pack on some of this brown in the crease and a little bit of this shimmery champagne in the inner corner. I am completely obsessed with cream eyeshadows because you literally pop a bit on your finger and pop them over the lids, and I love those Illamasqua ones, but these two are two recent launches that I am in love with, and these ones are by Bourjois. They're quite sheer and they have a really nice consistency. They're a cream to powder formula and they're really, really beautiful, unique colours as well. But if you fancy amping up the colour a bit, NARS have brought out these shadow paints. I particularly love this gold colour because it is super, super unique, and it's like a golden yellow with a golden shimmer running through it, so there's a lot of gold going on. So around Christmas time I'm going to be bringing this out and feeling very festive. In terms of like autumn winter colour blushes, I tend to go with quite muted shades like this one, which is Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Exposed. And I've got a tiny bit of this popped on my cheeks today, and especially if you've got some eye makeup and lipstick going on, it doesn't take away from either of those, but it just adds a little bit of something to bring the whole look together. The last thing I have here is a setting powder, and I do like to set my makeup with powder, but in the winter when my skin is quite dry, so I don't need the kind of oil control of a powder, but I want to have a nice kind of glowing finish. This is what I've been reaching for because it's quite natural on the skin, but it's also really, really illuminating as well, and it doesn't take away any of the kind of glowiness of the foundation. And this is MAC Mineralise Skin Finish in Lightscapade. I say winter, it's actually still autumn, but roll with me on this one. My next category is hair, and like with my skin and my body, I do like to use an oil, and I love this one from Ojon. Not only is it really pretty, you have these kind of 3 colours here, and then you shake it up and you get this beautiful kind of sunset colour, which is really, really fun and looks really pretty on my dressing table, but it's also really hydrating for my hair, and it smells beyond incredible. If you're ever passing an Ojon counter, I know they have them in Boots now, definitely give this a whiff because it is so, so, so gorgeous. Apart from the smell, it is also really, really hydrating, and pop this on wet hair. You do have to be quite controlled with how much you use, because if you use too much, your hair can look a little greasy, but pop this on wet hair, blow dry my hair, and my ends just kind of stay hydrated and not that crunchy look that they normally have. The next thing I have here is an overnight hair mask, and I do pop my hair masks in overnight anyways, but it's really nice to find a hair mask that's actually meant for that, and this one is from TG and has this little pump here. Pop it all throughout dry hair, wash it off in the mornings. It is super low maintenance, it doesn't get all over your pillows, and it's not really wet or greasy or anything. It's just a really easy hair mask because you're going to sleep anyway, you're probably going to wash your hair the next day, might as well pop in a hair mask, why not? The next thing I wanted to give a whole category of its own to, and this is the Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede Cologne, which is now my autumn winter fragrance. I've decided, even though I did wear this in summer, it has a really kind of warm undertone to it, and it's such a sophisticated scent. So I am going to be wearing this throughout autumn and winter, and I absolutely love it, and I love how long it lasts on the skin as well. Lastly is nails, and like with my hair and my face and my body, I like to hydrate my nails and my cuticles with an oil, and this one has really helped me recently. I've never found a cuticle oil that's actually made a difference on my nails, surprisingly, but my sister actually commented the other day and was like, your cuticles are actually really hydrated, and that's not something anyone would normally notice. So it's down to this, and this is the Butter London Handbag Holiday Cuticle Oil. I really like how it has this little brush here, so you can just pop it on your cuticles, leave it by my bedside table, and then you're good to go. When it comes to nail colours in winter, ignore what I have on my nails, by the way, because this is a really unseasonal colour at the moment, but I do still really like this colour. But as I was saying, when it comes to nails in kind of autumn winter time, I do like my kind of vampy berries, but this one is a new release from Essie, and it is so gorgeous, and it is definitely what I'm going to be wearing the majority of the time. this year, and this is Essie After School Boy Blazer, and it is a kind of navy blue, and it appears slightly black on the nail, but then you just get that kind of hint of navy through it, so it is really, really lovely. Speaking of Essie, this is one of my all-time favorite shades, and this is Essie Wicked, and it is a really nice vampy nail shade. I absolutely love it, especially on toes, but a good kind of similar one to that is Revlon Vixen. I actually spotted someone the other day with a grey polish, and I've never worn grey nail polish before, but I think this is a colour I'm going to be venturing into this year, and this is Essie Smoking Hot, and I really like that it has a kind of blue undertone to it, so it's quite nice. And then I also have Leighton Denny I'm So Soiree here, which is a kind of lighter navy. I think for nails this year, navies and greys is going to be the majority of what is on my nails. So those are my autumn winter updates. Let me know if you think there's anything I missed out on, or if there's other stuff that you use that you think I should incorporate into my routine. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon.